Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Thomas is the clown of the day, predicting that the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl, and he didn't even predict it, he said the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. I don't have the exact quote as to how he said it, but he still said it. And with that being said, he is the first Baltimore Raven to look like a complete jackass on their dominant run to the playoffs and potentially the Super Bowl. I'm going to do my Week 13 predictions here. I normally don't do that prior to Thursday, but I'm making the decision to do that just based on the fact there are three Thanksgiving games. This is the Thanksgiving week of football, usually one of the best, and there are quite a few games on tap this week that are going to be very, very exciting. And also in this video, I am going to say that there is a game that I am predicting the winner of it to be the Super Bowl champion this year, where I will predict the Super Bowl as well. Not exactly who will be in it, but who is going to win it. The first game is the Thursday 12:30 game between the Bears and Lions. And if there was a game that nobody cared about and nobody will watch, well, there'll be plenty of people that watch it, but if there was a game that nobody cared about, it was definitely this one. The Bears and Lions have both had underwhelming seasons, particularly the Lions. I'm going to say the Bears win this game, regardless of how Trubisky plays, just because their defense is strong, and I'm expecting them to win this game because they are the much better team. The 4:30 game, all we can hope here is that the Cowboys get the living daylights kicked out of them on Thanksgiving, because that is the best possibility. And that is a very good chance. Now, I don't think that the Cowboys are going to get demolished, but I think that they will probably lose this game. It is the Cowboys at 4:30 hosting the Buffalo Bills on the Thanksgiving tradition of the game in Dallas. I think that the Bills' defense is really going to hold down the Cowboys, so I would go with the Bills to win this game, just because I think that the Dallas Cowboys will not be able to score against the Bills. Yes, they're at home, but they're also playing an elite defense, and the Bills are not 8-3 on accident. The final game of your Thanksgiving is the Saints and Falcons in a division matchup. The last time these two teams played, the Falcons kicked the living hell out of the New Orleans Saints. This game is in Atlanta, but I think it will be vastly different this time around. Drew Brees is back, as we know, and he's been playing very good for the New Orleans Saints. This team is getting overlooked from the San Francisco 49ers and every other team in the NFC. I think the Saints are probably getting the least attention, and that is a problem. The Saints are going to probably beat the hell out of the Falcons on this game. I think it's going to be completely different from their game 2 weeks ago. Thanksgiving primetime, final game of the week. Falcons have nothing to play for. Again, that could make a team dangerous, but the Falcons will probably get the lights kicked out of them. The Saints will probably dominate this game, and that is who I'm going with. Sunday at 1 o'clock, their second of two meetings this year between the Cleveland Browns and the Steelers, which has to be a rivalry that has been escalated to a whole new level over these past few weeks, again, from the Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph brawl. Rudolph, to my knowledge, will not be playing this game, and we know Garrett will not as well. The Browns, both teams are in a position to where they really need to win, but I'm going to say that the Browns win this game just because we know that Rudolph is probably not starting and Hodges will be starting, and I don't think he's terrible, but I just don't think that he's going to do much against the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns, again, I feel like might dominate this game, but for some reason I think this game is going to be close. I normally don't flip my predictions like that, but I just have a very strong feeling that the Steelers are going to win this game because I completely forgot that the Browns actually dominated this first game, this first meeting between the two, and I would say that the Steelers would be the best bet to win this game just because they have more to play for, and especially this game as to how angry they will be. Giants-Packers, Sunday at 1 o'clock. I couldn't think of a game that anybody would be less interested in. The Giants will get the living shit kicked out of them by the Green Bay Packers in this game. Again, a team that has nothing to play for is more dangerous, but there's no reason and there's no way in hell that the Packers are going to lose this game. Again, they're trying to lock up that number 2 seed, and I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to win this game, probably by at least 30 over the New York Giants. The Eagles and Dolphins, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Now, the Eagles clearly are without a lot of offensive weapons, and that has been a detriment to them for the majority of this season. Wentz doesn't really have help. Dolphins are playing better, but they're still playing terrible. I'm going with the Eagles to win this game, regardless of not having weapons. I don't really think the Eagles would lose to the Miami Dolphins. So that is where I'm going with that. Tampa Bay and Jacksonville, two teams that are sinking in below average football play, 4-7. On paper, Tampa Bay is the better team. But again, both teams are playing for nothing. Neither of them will see the light of day in the playoffs. And usually, for some reason, games like this are actually very good. I'm going with the Buccaneers to beat the Jaguars. Nick Foles has come back, and he has done all right. And the team itself may have played decent in their games, but it's not going to make much of a difference because the Jaguars, when it's all said and done, are just not a good football team. Buccaneers are going to win over the Jaguars. AFC South matchup, Titans-Colts. This is the second of two meetings between the two. The Colts were to win the first one on a lucky run play towards the end of the game. I believe that was 17-13, something like that. I think it's going to be completely different this time around. The Colts have some injured players, and they appear that they might be losing some momentum. And the Titans are on the complete opposite brink of it, where we are flying high through teams. We're 4-1 under Tannehill, and we're going to keep on rolling towards the unlikeliness of an AFC South or an AFC South division title, but the possibility of an AFC wild card. I think the Titans are going to win this game over the Colts again. Two completely different teams. If you looked at the beginning of the year, I would have said the Colts were the better team. But as of right now, I am going with the Tennessee Titans to win this game between the two. Jets-Bengals, another 1 o'clock game. A game that means absolutely nothing for either team. But the reality of it is the New York Jets are playing a lot better. And I think they're going to beat the brakes off of the Cincinnati Bengals again. It could be just similar, if not worse, than the game we've seen against the Oakland Raiders. So I'm going with the Jets to win this one big. Cincinnati Bengals will remain winless and continue their season of misery. Redskins-Panthers, Sunday, 1 o'clock. Two teams that really don't have much to play for. I mean, I don't really know how realistic your vision would be if you actually think the Panthers have a chance to make the playoffs. They are 5-6, so technically they're not eliminated, but they are in the NFC, and a 5-6 team that is in the NFC is not going to make the playoffs because you know that Seattle or whoever doesn't win the NFC West is going to lock a wildcard spot up, and whoever doesn't win the AFC North, or the NFC North, I'm sorry, which will probably be the Vikings. It'll probably be Seattle and Minnesota that win the NFC wildcard. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers to win this game. It's all said and done. Again, Dwayne Haskins is still young. He's still learning. Panthers are not by any means a great team, but I could see Christian McCaffrey having himself a ball on Sunday afternoon. Panthers are going to beat the Washington Redskins. This next game, to some, is a Super Bowl preview. To me, it is exactly that. The best game of the week, just by default, is the San Francisco 49ers going to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. The two best teams in the NFL this year going at it. And this game, it's too late to do it, but I really think that this should have been the Sunday night game. I'm going as far to say as whoever wins this game is going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go that far. I know the Ravens have been flying high, and the 49ers defense has been unbelievable this year. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be putting on 40 points on the 49ers, but I do think that they're going to find a way through that defense, and it's going to be potentially similar to the Seattle Seahawks game, but I think when it's all said and done, the Ravens will be winners of this game and continue their dominance and hit double-digit wins on the year. 4 o'clock frame, LA Rams, Arizona Cardinals. The Rams have looked absolutely lifeless. Again, they could still make the playoffs, but we know that's not going to happen. They're taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going with the LA Rams to win this game. They're just a better team, and that's all I really have to say about that. 4:25, the LA Chargers and the Denver Broncos. It seemed like the Chargers were going to get some momentum moving forward, but clearly that was the opposite case. Broncos are just absolutely terrible. They can't score. They have a quarterback situation. I'm going with the LA Chargers to win this game because the Broncos are just not very good. It'll be a better game because it's a divisional matchup, but that's where I'm going with that. Sunday, 4:25, Oakland Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to blow out the Oakland Raiders, and I think that they are much so, the Chiefs are due for a big win, and I think that that's where it's coming from. They're going to blow out the Raiders and really put a diminish on their AFC playoff hopefuls. Sunday night prime time, the New England Patriots going to Houston to take on the Texans. the Texans will not score in this game, and the Patriots will definitely win this game. Just because I know the Texans are good, but we see how they have struggled against really tough defenses and a team like the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going with the New England Patriots to win this game. I wouldn't say by blowout, but I think they'll have a good portion of points in this game. Final game of the week, Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Another great game. I think this one's going to come down to the wire. The Seahawks are the better team. Vikings desperately need to pile on more wins. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I just think all around they're the better team, and they are just catching complete fire right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your Week 13 preview and predictions. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.